I'm Scott Al Miller. It's the 10th of March, 2023, and this is my vlog of daily life in León, Nicaragua. All right, today is Friday and I'm doing a lot of work around the office and uploading and getting ready to go because this weekend we have a lot going on, but nothing like particularly large. I'm actually heading out this evening to go to Managua where I'm going to a rock concert. I'm actually not sure which rock concert I'm going to. Larry Emerson is playing and we may go there, and there's also a show at the Hard Rock. For those who don't know, there's actually a Hard Rock Managua, which is not something you would expect, but there's a Hard Rock Panama City. I think there's a few others in the region, and for whatever reason, the Hard Rock chain has kind of done okay here, and so it's sort of a thing. It's not as expensive as in the US, I don't believe, but it's more or less just the same Hard Rock you get everywhere else. I know it has a big following, and one of the ones that's least likely for people to go to is the Hard Rock Managua. I've never been there. I've walked past the entrance, but I've never been in, so I'm interested in going to that just because I would like to see what exactly it's like. I've heard that it has like no vegetarian food whatsoever, and their menu is super reduced, and even the things they have printed, just like everywhere else in Nicaragua, they have a tendency not to actually have the items on the menu that they list. But that's just a rumor. I haven't gone myself and checked that, so I am interested in going and checking it out. So I'm doing a lot of just getting ready throughout the day because that's what I'm doing tonight. Before 6 o'clock, I've got to get in the car, zip over to the the bus terminal, and grab the shuttle to Managua. Of course, it is really hot these days. Today's a little bit cooler. It's about 93, 94, so it's not too bad. Thankfully, it's not one of the days when it hits 97, but it is going to be a really warm bus ride heading down. I've got things crawling on my legs, sorry. And being out in the garden, it just happens. So I'm planning on getting out there about 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock. And normally what we do is we go out dancing in Managua. I take the bus in and everyone goes out to dinner and then you go dancing. But if you've been watching the show, you know that I did finally see a doctor about my foot, which everyone's been telling me I really need to do. So I did, and everything is luxated, everything's in bad shape, and he's like, you cannot be doing this stuff. So I've still, at this point, I've been consistently doing the medication, I've been consistently doing the foot soak and all that stuff, and it does feel like maybe it's on a good path, but I should not, be like, 2 days of a 10-week treatment, things will be fine. I gotta really focus on making it healthy, but so no dancing. So we're looking at going out and doing some other things in Managua tonight because it's been a while since I've been in Managua and done the Managua thing. So that is the plan tonight. Tomorrow, everyone's gonna be here in León. We're not doing a Managua weekend. Just a Friday night thing, which is often what I like to do because I have so much going on. Being in Managua for an extended period of time is often exhausting and problematic for me. So it's nice to be able to go in, hang out. And now that we have the buses down to a science, it's really so easy that it's not a big deal at all. And tomorrow there's a lot of stuff going on out at the beach. I don't think I'm going to be spending the day at the beach, but I might go out. But everybody is going back and forth all day, and there's a lot of activity going on and stuff as we try to get things ready out there. And the new murals are done. I'm hoping I actually make it out and can film the murals for everybody, but that is the plan there. So that is the day so far. I'm recording this on the day of because I really want to make sure I'm not falling behind, because with a busy weekend coming up, it is easy for me to get into a position where I don't have time to make the videos, and I already know this is it. I don't have any time to record today. And tomorrow I know is going to be super busy. Hopefully by Sunday I have time to get back to recording and maybe I can get out and do a walk for you guys. But between now and then, I know I'm going to be scrambling to do anything, and I want the uploads going while I'm gone and all of that stuff. So that is why I'm recording now. Let's head out. It's time for some adventure. We did have, before I leave, Chepe did come and do a lot of maintenance around the house today. So we're slowly getting new chairs hung, and we got the toilet that's been leaking fixed, and a couple things. We had a couple things leaking, which is bad because we're on a well. So it is possible for us to run it dry, and it's the dry season. Things are dry, and we have to water the lawn. We have a lot of things we have to do. So it's important for us to be water conservative, especially around leaks and stuff, because a lot of water will go. We lost power the other night just for 2 hours in the middle of the night. No big deal at all. It must have been the night of the 8th, and but we had no water pressure. And we're like, but we have pressurized tanks and stuff. And we're like, oh, we've got a couple leaks that are pretty significant, and a couple leaks going for a couple hours in the middle of the night will deplete the water pressure pretty quickly. So we thought that was pretty important to get that fixed, because we have it set up so we shouldn't have to worry about the power being out for unless it's an extended period of time. So that's about it. I'm going to head out. I'm already in the process of packing to get ready to go, and see how the day goes. All right, I didn't really get any video from the night out, but I do want to cover what we did because it was a fun night. I got to the bus. I actually, Paul drove me to the bus station, to the terminal here in Leon, and I was actually got there as they were loading the final bus. I got the very last seat on the very last bus out of Leon. Cutting it a little bit too close there. If you go, technically the last bus is supposed to be about 6 o'clock. It varies though. It could go at 5:50 if they get too many people early, or it could go a few minutes late, depending. But you want to get there a little bit early. I was really pressing my luck. I almost ended up staying in Leon. Because I got the last seat, I got the jump seat, the one between the driver and the shotgun, which is not a great place to be. I do not fit at all. And if I'm there, they can't shift because those are all manual. Luckily, there was a smaller guy sitting by the door, and he said, dude, do you want me to switch with you? And I'm like, I hate doing that. Like, normally I would be like, no, I'll just suck it up. But it's a bit dangerous that I'm in the driver's way, and I really don't fit. I knew I was going to be in insane pain by the end. And plus, he was like 25, and I'm 47. At some point, I have to start realizing my age, right? And saying, oh yeah, at 47, sometimes I do need to allow someone who's much smaller than me and much younger than me to sit in a less comfortable seat for a little while. Normally, I really don't try to do that, but this was a big deal. So I ended up with the most comfortable seat on the bus instead of the least comfortable seat on the bus. And that was obviously fantastic. And I have a window, so I can lean out the window. Like, it's like riding in the front seat of a car. It's great. So I had a great drive into Managua. And of course, it's super easy to get off at the stop you want when you're sitting in the front. When you're in the back, you're like, driver, dude, well, muchacho, I need off here, right? And they can't hear you. No one's listening. I've always got headphones in. My driver today had a TV going the whole way. He was watching like a talk show. So getting his attention can be hard. Sitting up front, I can easily be like, Cuesta del Plomo. Oh, Cuesta, just pull right over. And you know when you're there. When you're in the back, you're like, I'm not sure how close I am because you can't see anything. Sitting in the front, I know exactly how far we are. Just pull right over. There we are. I walked, and this is interesting. So I didn't get to film this, and I'm sad that I didn't, but it's dark when I arrived, and tomorrow when I return, I'm going to be in a hurry, so I know I'm not filming tomorrow. But so I walk from the stop, the parada at Cuesta del Plomo, and into Ciudad Sandino, and it's a 20-minute walk or so. It's not bad at all. But it's amazing how much new construction. So I've been going there for over a year, and to see the construction that's happened in the last year, whole new housing developments have gone in, some beautiful stuff, by the way, and a lot of house rentals. If any of my viewers are interested, I do want to go and check out some stuff in Ciudad Sandino because I just find the area so interesting. But I saw a lot of nice looking small, conservative, but very nice looking, very Nicaraguan homes in the Ciudad Sandino suburb of Managua, which is on the Leon side, that have rent signs on them and are in nice areas that I would be like, oh, that would be a really cool, interesting, very Nicaraguan place to have a house, to have a rental. So I walked through, so all these new developments, some beautiful new stuff. They've really done some great stuff down there. All the new stuff is stuff that I'm like, I would happily live there, right? Like, they're all really nice. It's a great example of the new development in Nicaragua and how nice it can be on a very conservative scale, right? Some of those places are advertising $139 a month, $169 a month, $199 a month, like the different sizes of houses. I think those are rentals, but that might be to buy. I don't know. I know some other places advertise for rent at like 84, like farther out. Like, this is a kind of a desirable area because it's close to the city. Farther out where a commute is painful, it gets cheaper. This is definitely an area where the prices are going up, and for good reason. As I got to where I was going, which is near the Super Express there, I actually couldn't figure out where I was. I knew from the bridge and the water and the Super Express that I was standing in the right place, but no other building did I recognize. The entire zone. And remember, I did an episode on Ciudad Sandino not that long ago. I mean, it's more than a few weeks, but it was not that long ago. You can go back and find it in my history. At that point, I was in Ciudad Sandino and took the time to record the area. That's not the last time I was there, I don't think, but it's the last time I filmed it. Since the time that I filmed it, every lot and thing in that area has been replaced, except for the Super Express. Directly across from the Super Express is a new apartment building. Its first floor is a strip mall with new restaurants and activities. On the south side of that, the east side of that is a whole new restaurant complex that looks really interesting that I want to go film and check out for you guys. There's a new pizza restaurant, Primero Pizza, next to the Super Express. All this was like just weeds before. Like, anytime I go there, there's just open development land. And it's like, oh, just empty lots. It's kind of ugly. The Super Express is kind of a cheap Super Express. It's kind of sitting in the middle of nothing. And then this nice gated community across the street. That's where I film a lot for you guys. And I got there, and this, instead of being this kind of empty zone with a Super Express, this is a very new apartments and restaurants and activity all right there, all really nice and busy and people going out. It was a completely different scene than just a couple of months ago. I could not believe it. And so I want to go film that because you guys are going to be like, what do you do? It's really unbelievable. I have no idea why that area is being developed so quickly, but in the last year, I've seen at least 2 massive housing developments on that street, and at least like 4 or 5 new restaurants, a new apartment building. And I never go the other direction, so I have no idea how far that stuff is going. Just in the little bit that I do, there's that much. That was really interesting. That was just the start to the evening. Once I got there, the crew was pretty much ready, so we immediately got a taxi and headed out. We just dropped off bags and stuff and headed into Managua. And went to Brutal. Now, I had found them on Instagram yesterday and was looking at that and said, wow, this place looks really cool. The theming is really good and strong. They've got like drink specials and just, it's kind of like got a tiki rainforest cafe kind of vibe a little bit. And I was like, this looks fun and new, and I definitely want to try this out. So I said, let's go to Brutal. They're like, okay. So we looked up and we figured out where it was, and it's on the Carretera Messiah near the Galeria. Kind of southeast of the Galeria by just like a couple blocks, maybe 750 meters. And so we got there, and it is, first of all, this is an absolutely amazing plaza that it is in. Gorgeous. Every restaurant in it is super high end. The apartments are condos, I don't know, that are in it are, I found out $3,000 a month is where they start. Now they're bigger. It's not like in Guatemala City where there's studios for $3,500. These are not studios. I think they're pretty good sized apartments, but $3,000 a month in Nicaragua. That's absolutely crazy. And it's gate, like there's no way to go in and look at them. But the restaurant's actually underneath some of them. So it's a pretty cool location, and I've not been there before. So it was very exciting. I want to go during the day sometime and film that for you guys in high quality so you can see what I'm talking about. Because this was dark, and I didn't know that this was a brand new restaurant. It was new that I had just found it. Turns out they opened yesterday. So we were there still for their grand opening weekend and their first Friday night, right? They did a small opening on a Thursday. This place was packed. So packed, but it was fantastic. It's pricey. I did get the bill, but I'll just run through for you guys. I didn't film everything. We only got 2 meals, 1 appetizer. There's 3 of us at the time we were eating, and we only got 3 drinks. And the bill came to $89. That's after tips. So it was $81, and then a 10% propina. If you're wondering about tips, I have that episode I did about propinas that explain how that work and how theirs was automatic. It was already added in. You could pay with credit card if you want. We paid cash. But so total dinner, 3 people ate really good food. We had, the appetizer was salmon empanadas. Fantastic. I had a full salmon dinner, and I don't know what the other dinner was. I think it was a steak. And all that with cocktails came to $81, and then the tip. So very expensive for Nicaragua, not very expensive in the grand scheme of things. If you took away the drinks, it would have cost less than or about the same as going out to Denny's in the United States for 3 people if you had a serious dinner. So really, really not bad, because you can't get drinks at Denny's or whatever as a comparison. So that was the beginning of our night, and I was really excited to get to do that. And it was really cool because the table directly next to us, Marcelo looked over and said, I think that's Foodylicious Nick, which is a major food vlogger. here in Nicaragua and has an Instagram channel that I follow and know. And I'm like, but we didn't have internet. Like the LTE service doesn't stretch into that particular plaza apparently. So we couldn't look anything up, and we're like, we're pretty sure that's him. And then we saw pictures on his feed from the dinner while we were sitting there. We're like, oh my gosh. So we ended up talking to him and got a picture with him and stuff. And it was really cool. He's really nice. And it's just cool to run into someone you know in that kind of way. And I say that we run into everybody everywhere. Like, it's a small country. You really do. And the number of people going out isn't that high, but it's really cool that stuff happens, and that was a lot of fun seeing them checking out a new restaurant as well. Him and his team, he had like 4 people. He's pushing 50,000 followers here in Nicaragua, just talking about food in the country. So he's doing really fantastic. Obviously, he does it in Spanish, so that helps a lot. But that was a great dinner experience. If you're going to be in the area, Brutal is amazing and highly recommended. The food was excellent. The service was excellent. The ambiance was really, really good. Like one of the best I've seen in Managua so far. And Managua, like a lot of Latin American cities, really does. Latin America really does have kind of an upscale restaurant vibe in its larger cities, and then the smaller cities like León really tends towards just a very basic thing. Like, here's your restaurant, here's your food, the quality's good, but like the ambiance is so basic. And when you get to larger cities, Latin America tends to be extremely fancy with lots of theming and really good just design around the whole thing. And Managua matches that, which I think a lot of people don't expect, because when you see Managua itself, you're kind of like, wow, it's not what I expect from a Latin American city, because of the earthquake, you have to understand. But then when restaurants go in and new things are being built, the style is actually quite nice most of the time, and this is an extremely good reflection of that on the highest end. After dinner, we went out and went to Hard Rock Cafe. We wanted to see a band that was playing there. Unfortunately, we got there on the late side because we were enjoying Brutal so much. Even though they're really close to each other, we could have walked, but we just took a taxi. I've never been in the Hard Rock Managua before, so that was a fun experience. I'm not a big fan of Hard Rock. No offense to Hard Rock, like they do an okay job, but they typically have kind of meh food at overpriced, so it's I don't find it anything special. I don't find it interesting that it's just a rock and roll themed restaurant. Like, it's kind of neat, sort of, that they have live music is cool, but everybody in Nicaragua has live music, so it's not a special thing here. They do have a very different menu than the rest of Nicaragua, and they had an Impossible Burger on the menu. I just had dinner, so I did not try it, and it's crazy expensive. The Hard Rock is basically low-end food for Nicaragua. Again, no offense to Hard Rock, but what's barely acceptable in the United States, like, let's face it, Hard Rock is better than a Chili's and an Applebee's, but it's about a TGI Fridays, which is acceptable, but it's nothing special. But of course, a TGI Fridays or something like that would be a joke in Managua, simply not the quality and theming and style that you get at actual Managua restaurants, but it is acceptable. So the Hard Rock Cafe was okay. I didn't have any of their food here. I have had it in the past, and it's very lackluster, but because they have an Impossible Burger and a few other things that we really can't get anywhere else, we're definitely going to come back to the Hard Rock when Dominica is able to come with me, because they've got food items that she will be very interested in trying. Now, other Hard Rocks have things that she really wants that we can't get in Managua. So the restaurant in Managua has a Managua menu, and some of the things on it are very Nicaraguan, not things you would find anywhere else. So it's a custom menu. They also have local Victoria Classica on draft, which is, I prefer draft beers, and so that was a treat for me just to get my local beer on draft. It is a bit expensive, but at $1.85, it's not terrible. So we went and we watched the band. They were getting pretty close to the end though, so we saw very little. So we basically had one beer and then headed out to Los Robles to go drink at Gara and at, I think, El Patron for a little while, which I have not been there before, but it's right in where we go all the time. And it was nice. I would go there again. Just, I hate bar hopping. Like, no matter what, you're getting way too late. 4 places in one night. I know for Nicaraguans, like, that's just a warm-up. For me, I am exhausted by the end of the night. I don't want to drink for that long. I don't want it to be loud for that long. I don't want to take the time to switch restaurants that much. Like, that's too much for me. I think, dinner and then going out to a place that's not dinner, that works. Potentially 3 places. That's really my limit, and that's if it's a big night. It's like dinner and then a show and then let's go dancing. I can't handle the bar hopping thing. That is just, it makes no sense to me. If you don't like the one you're at, don't pick it, right? Pick where you want to go. there isn't value to switching between them. I have no idea what makes people want to do that. Anyway, so that was our evening. It was fun. It was nice to get back out in Managua. Definitely very exciting to have checked out Brutal. That is a fantastic win for checking things out in Nicaragua. The Hard Rock Cafe was not bad. Certainly a good experience, good service, all that. It's very small. It's in the Galeria, which is kind of how I picture the Hard Rock, right? It's very much a mall kind of activity, but it's funny that it's actually in a mall and not that big. But it's a real Hard Rock, and I am excited to get back and try out the menu. Once in a while, it's worth spending nearly American prices. It's probably not nearly American prices, but I think the hamburger is like $14 or $15, which that's pretty high. Even the fancy restaurants like Brutal, that's all they charge for like actual fancy food, right? Not an Impossible Burger. That's what you get at Burger King, right? We go to the States to get Impossible Burgers at Burger King, and we really like the non-Impossible Burgers at Burger King in Managua, and they're only, I don't know, $4 or something. So it's a high premium, but on a really special occasion while we're just really craving something different, I think we will give it a try, and I'm sure it will be great. And then it was a nice night going out. It was nice getting opportunity. Got to get back early tomorrow. Busy day going on back in Leon. So thanks for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you got any questions, comments, anything, get down there. Just scroll down and you know, join the conversation. It's great. Everyone talking to each other, and to me, it's a great community that we have going on here. So much interest in travel and relocation in Nicaragua and all that. It really is a lot of great input down there. I appreciate that a lot. And like and subscribe. That's the biggest thing for getting the show going. Buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Scott Allen Miller. That comes directly to me. I'll put the link in the show on the screen and in the notes below. And as always, share with your friends, tell people about the show, post it on Reddit or LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, whatever you have, Instagram. Let people know, get the word out there, get more subscribers. We're growing great. This past week has been fantastic. And as always, I will see all of you tomorrow.